Monroe scrambled out of the water and found himself in a massive city with no sign of the Swan or anyone else. Well, except someone's enormous pair of feet. These were attached to a giant who could have been a big help in catching the Swan, but unfortunately, here was the laziest giant who had ever lived, and it was his day off. Having celebrated in his usual way, he was now sleeping it off and quite unable to hear Monroe yelling. While he was looking for a way to wake the giant, Monroe noticed something even better: a floating ship.
Okay, part 2. Oh, look at the feet up there. Is the giant somewhere over here? Hard to make out in the details. Oh, I fell in the water. That was terrifying. I just drowned, kind of. Oh. Look how things have changed. They done took away my ink. Now I've got water in this level that I can spray around and it just goes away. Question is what the water's going to be used for. Can I give him wet feet? Nope. Monroe doesn't have a very good arm, apparently. Also, I'm not entirely sure about the mechanism by which he throws the stuff in the first place. These globs he's managing to kick out. Interesting. Okay, so we have an airship taunting us in the distance, and we're quickly getting into much more detailed and visually distinct environments. This place is cohesive in a way that doesn't require me to manually reveal it around myself. The giant's arm resting on the wall. Seems a little destructive to me. I don't think he's too fond of that. Unresponsive, at least. There we go. So now, our water power's primary use is actually physics, as opposed to revealing stuff via paint. But things have changed already. I almost fell off just now. Is that a floor down there? Seems safe at the moment, but how do I follow you back up there? Is the question. Where do these steps go? And suddenly I'm back to being kind of blinded and concerned. Okay, so this is what the storybook things are supposed to look like.
Before he discovered painting, the king was a potter. He loved the simplicity of a well-spun pot. So when his subjects complained that his new city was too austere and that there was nowhere to relieve themselves, the king ignored them. But when they started relieving themselves in his pots, the king hastily built them a sewer system.
Oh no. He had to build a sewer system because his people were peeing in all of his pots. Alarming. Because now we gotta start actively spraying, because otherwise I won't be able to see my environment. Only the temporary illumination of water is what I have to go on here. It's a beautiful game. Hey, 1 of 28. This one has way more collectibles than the last region did. Probably because it's actually complicated visually. Whereas the other one was kind of a series of open areas. Try that again.
Sometimes the giant wondered about where all the people in the city had gone. Mostly he worried they might come back and ask him to clean their gutters or put out their fires. But they never did, and that was why the giant, who was the laziest that had ever lived, was also the happiest.
Oh, who's the big happy giant who's super lazy? Just wants to sleep, and he just wants to hang out and sleep, even if it means the collapse of society. There we go. Now I've got some visual congruity. We can tell where the heck we're going. That's not doing me any good. Jump! He's fine, he's fine. Little kids are made of rubber, it's fine. Where do you go? Oh, cool. Nightmares. Just what I wanted for Christmas. Speaking of which, where's that beast we've been taunted with? Because we're constantly near the water, and we've been sort of clued in on that there's like this dangerous monster somewhere. Part 2, scaffolding. Part 2 of Chapter 2. I don't think you're gonna do me any favors. Yeah, that ladder's not much help. Not without some sort of additional trick to help me out. I don't think I can just grow the wood with my powerful water spells. So we'll find a different route. Right? Right. I say, not actually knowing where I'm gonna go next. Am I missing something important? Oh, here we go. There we go. So an alternate route is realized. Destroy the balloon! Just don't have that kind of range. There we go. It's not a completionist run exactly, but if I see one blatantly floating in plain sight like those guys over there, I'm gonna at least try to get it. Oh, another one up there. They're everywhere in this region. Almost as if there's 28 or something. Hit. So this game won't exactly provide a lot of answers as to what happened to Milton, necessarily. We don't even know if we should trust the narrative being given us here. But one way or another, it is acknowledged as being the canonical follow-up. The developers have flat out said for sure that the thing that happened to Edith Finch that points at this game is legit. It's not some sort of weird coincidence, and it's not just an Easter egg, but canon. However much that you think that actually means. Come here. Come on. Come on. Oh. Can't quite make it. Hey, the Swan's here. Hello. Well, that's new. So I can use this to get around. Let's get this real quick, though. Boing. They even make the appropriate balloon noise, more or less. Alright, so let's get on here myself. That's not budging one bit more, unfortunately. It is quite stuck. The question is, can I make this part point in a direction that's more helpful? Not necessarily making that jump from here either, am I? And so it is stuck again, but on this side. Unhelpfully. I don't think I can make that jump. What am I supposed to do right now, exactly? So I want to go over there. The tracks go over there, and around there, and up there. That's my goal. This is likely part of the puzzle. I can't get up through here. that point's right over there, so I could easily, if I could get on that side of this platform, I'd be set. That doesn't seem to work for me. How am I supposed to get over there? Let's see. It might be that I'm supposed to get over there somehow. Can I knock this stuff over? Nope. Wow, he caught the ladder in midair. That's some pro status stuff right there. Oh, I can just jump across from here. There we go. I was backwards about which way I was supposed to go. I thought I was supposed to go through all here and then go this way as an endpoint, but it's actually the next step. And what follows here follows. I've got the whole thing pointing over here, right? Yep. All set. Let's see what we can do here then. Because now we're going somewhere. Ta-da! One, and... sharp shot. Dang it. Dang it. Have to actually get closer instead. There we go. Two of them right next to each other. Not particularly hard to find, I suppose. Is that a balloon? Oh yeah, it is, but not that kind of balloon. It's the ultimate balloon, the most important balloon. Well, look at this place. Looks like we have briars down there, a clear stylization of the water that's supposed to go to it. We've got a mixture of cracks and briars throughout the entire area. The actual foundation of this area is crumbling, but there's also the plants that grow throughout it on top of that. Does this connect somewhere? Probably the main gate. Yep. I wonder if there's a storybook passage hidden around here. Not apparently. Chunks of this place definitely look very Venice-inspired. Although they also feel like the setting of like a Disney movie. With this cartoonish simplifications. Look at how these stairs are different. They go at different angles as you go up and down them. They're not perfect. They're not lining up. Intentionally. Or unintentionally. Maybe completely haphazard. Intentional on part of the designers, but unintentional perhaps on the lackadaisy way of the character that this is all based around puts the stuff out. So I would think we're probably supposed to get that open and get some water flowing through here. Oh, the water just bounces right off. And they're plants, so that's weird. So what will you do? Oh, goes back around.
As the city filled up with people, the streets filled up with garbage. In a fury, the king painted over the roads with a canal, which swept away the trash, along with some of the slower children. But the water brought something else, a horde of vines which began covering the city.
So we just wanted to be left alone. Almost like that episode of where Cartman runs a theme park in a... where Cartman gets an amusement park in South Park. There's this idea of, like, he just wanted to have his thing that he found fulfilling, but then he wanted people, and he wanted fulfillment, and he wanted this whole thing to feel like he wanted to be acknowledged. Before long, there was a trap, because as he wanted to be acknowledged, then the people became a problem, and then as he dealt with the people, every time he would appease the people, new problems would arise, and oftentimes he would be more than hasty, perhaps, in his solutions with stuff, which just led to more problems. Like, what? There's waste or something here? I know, I'll blow it all away with tons of water. Oh, the water created a new problem? Who could have thought that my hasty catch-all solution may have created a new problem? And now his city is crumbling. Responding rather poorly to all the water, it would appear. Staying open for me this time? Hello, nightmare spider creature. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. No. Kill it with water and fire. Get out of here. Yeah. Don't threaten me with your creepy spider eyes. There we go. New growth. Hey, look at this. We've added water to the system. And with water comes life. And this stuff has wanted water for a while now. So it will seek it out. Chase it even. Now that's a nifty trick, isn't it? We're creating our own climbable walls, but we're doing so by incentivizing a natural being to do what we want it to. As we can't create the climbable walls ourselves, not directly. But we can make something else want to do it for us. If we're lucky. Can I not reach it from here? Dang. How high up is that balloon? Well, I know one way to get higher. Aha! Gotcha. So, this gets intricate pretty fast, doesn't it? So it naturally grew along that support, which is more or less its original design. But now I need ways across the water. And you can see some of these. Oh, hi. Nice to see you again. So some of my vines have dead-ended inside of the water. There's a little bit of a problem. But I think that these yellow buds that are like the source of what you can climb on, I think they kind of just go everywhere. So you're generally safe. Just be careful. We wouldn't want to drown with the sea monster. Can you get me through there? Probably not. Don't expect the vines to get me through any walls. So the solution is to go over things. The unfinished Swan continues to work as some kind of guide, basically. Pointing me vaguely where I'm supposed to go. Hey there. Click. 12 out of 28. We've already got a decent chunk of them. So I think we do generally need to follow the Swan's path quite literally, because I don't think I can get... I think I might not be able to get over ridges like that stick out. The Swan's prints, not only are our overall goal, pointing us where this creature's going, which I don't know how it's running on the walls exactly, but sure. But on top of that, it can actually help us figure out where we're allowed to go next. So can they cross the cracks? They can't, can they? So the cracks confine us. So any irregularities in the wall become a thing that the vines can't go past. Not entirely realistic, probably. Seems like the vines wouldn't really have much trouble with that, honestly. But it gives us a bit of structure to the level and where we're allowed to go. Question. Can I get to go over there? I would say probably not, but we'll see. Hey, vines. Oh! It would appear they figured it out without my help. Let's see. I'm sure I can get over here if I just find the right path. You can probably make this whole thing climbable, right? Hey, look at that! So whenever we find any kind of lattice work or pre-existing structure, we can lead the vines to it and they'll just naturally finish the job. Did I miss one back there anywhere? Maybe that first spot where they came from, but that'd be a little weird to point them back to where they came from in the first place. But it's happened twice now. You needed it to cross the bridge, and then you can use that knowledge to do this. Which both leads to a fun little scripted thing happening, but also it gets you that balloon. Which is necessary if you're all about completionism. This is surprisingly supportive for how open air and terrifying it is. So can I get you to go in that pipe? Is that what the point of this is? Apparently. That's a trip, huh? And you can tell it goes through the pipe because there's actually holes inside of it to point out that it's happening that way. Now where'd you come out? There's a crack that stops it from getting across. But now it's way over there. I can probably use that to my advantage if I can get in range. Hey there, balloon. Out of here. There we go. What do I do with you? Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to reach around anymore. It's no longer attached to a wall, so it lacks all structure. But... don't try that at home. Danger, danger. Ooh. This tree is full of balloons. How do I climb such a tree? Can I hit the sign from here? Aw, not quite. I don't seem to have any vine with me right now. So what can we do with this tree? Aha! It's a treehouse. I wonder how many games this is inspired by now. This game and Journey and a few others that were just kind of pushing this stuff. Because like this game is probably like 5 or 6 years old now, I want to say. And I wonder how many of today's sort of artsy wander around games may have been directly inspired by products like this coming out and getting full support and doing surprisingly well. We just have so many games that are just these beautiful environment wander around type games. I've got a number that I'm waiting to play in the near future. You'll see those as we get to them, I suppose. Can I get up there? This is probably where we're supposed to proceed to. Yeah. That leads me somewhere. Much like how Braid showed us that indie games are a thing that can be possible, that actually go somewhere and successful and stuff like that. And you can have your crazy art project. I think a lot of these have shown what different styles of games that can be surprisingly viable when you might not expect them to be. Hello, Maze. Of all his creations, his greatest was himself. He was a little proud of himself. Can I get back out of here or am I stuck? Uh-oh. Oh no, I'm back in the hedge maze. I never left the witness. If only. Oh, look at that. What's that gonna do, huh? Oh, it didn't take off. Ah! Thanks for that. Game has more jump scares in it than Outlast.
Unlike his nicely trimmed hedge maze, the vines refused to stay where the king wanted them. He ordered his subjects to pull up every vine they saw, but the people were getting tired of the king's endless decrees, so they secretly began watering the vines whenever the king wasn't looking.
Uh-oh. You're sowing the seeds of discontent with your endless decrees, and now they're subverting you when you turn around. Water time, because I can't see anything. Hey there. Help me see stuff, please. My beloved vines. Let's see, will you do anything with this gate, I wonder? You'll go right through it, apparently. There we go. Try and send them down the hallway. Don't really know what my end game is, but it's kind of neat to paint up a hallway with vines that's somewhere I can't reach. Gives you a sense of the depth of that direction. So now we're back at square one. I'm revealing a white environment so I can figure out how to navigate it. But without my black paint, the most useful thing to do is to spread these vines, which is less specific, it's less exact, it's less immediately responsive, but it does result in a different, cool situation of positive and negative space. It has less coverage, but it's just as intriguing to look at. Oh, we have a ledge over here, apparently. And because they're vines, wherever they go, I can climb. So they offer me new functionality the previous option didn't give me. Is it a dinner table or something? Yep. And the vines don't seem to be able to climb up on it. The vines are covering so many different dimensions now, and so many different avenues towards what I'm watering. The responsiveness is variable. They don't always get to where I want them to go. But the paths they take that I don't predict can often reveal things I didn't know there was to reveal. And as we fill it in, we get a more complete picture. Here's that hallway we had earlier, by the way. I'm now behind that door. You can actually water quite... Oop, high. Always with the paintings of paintings and paintings. So you can actually be much more reckless with this material than we could before. Because while the black was pure and would block out everything just as much as white would, if you made all of the walls completely 100% covered in vines, which would take a long time, you would still be able to make out your environments quite well. Because the texture of the vines gives you depth to work with. As we fill this place up, I get no further away from being able to tell what's going on around me. I hear you. I'm coming for you. I'm gonna catch you. Except that's not anywhere near my vines. Where are you going off to? I'll get you. Just need to figure out where my vines are allowed to go. It's apparently right over here. Nope, watch out. Don't go falling on me. Oh, careful. Ooh, that made me a little nervous. What do you think's in there? That's a balloon, of course. Follow me? Oh. Do I have to leave you? Oh. Bye, friendly vines. I can't take you with me anymore. Until I find more, I suppose, if that happens. The seawall. That can't be it, can it? Is that Odin's house? What if that's Odin's house out there? It's so far out there, I can't look at it from here. Can I zoom in this game? I'm pressing a few different buttons to try them. I don't think I can.
The king hated the sea, and all because of his very first castle. It was the only one he had ever come close to finishing, and it took him a single day. But then the tide came in and washed it all away. He vowed that someday he'd build a kingdom that would last forever.
So this, as the stories generally seem to go with this particular developer, seems to be about a narrative about fighting decay and fighting death and fighting finality and mortality. Quite literally in the last game, where it was all about fighting the actual concept of death and dealing with a family that seems to be stricken with the constant threat of it. But this character doesn't want to. He fights against decay and fights against anything going against what they want. Whoa! Would you look out there? So it would seem that the king himself is relaxing in front of a fireplace inside of a tower of himself. Out. The tower itself, of course, being unfinished, like everything else. And it's out in the ocean where no one can bother him. It seems like he may have been inspired by the house he saw in the ocean when he was a kid, from his seaside living situation, which, of course, you would say is probably the one in that game is probably inspired by this one as opposed to the other way around, but you can retroactively infer that this character was inspired by Odin's drowned house that was always outside of his own in the real world. It's fun trying to piece this stuff together, even if at the time there's not we don't necessarily need to think that they were supposed to be tied together. Those were sharks. Let's never go in the water again. Like, I doubt they were planning Edith Finch when they made this game, but tying them together is interesting. It adds a weird little texture to a game where you don't expect it. That's just straight up a pool of sharks down there. They're big, too. No thank you. Constant reminder of a threat, I suppose. Hey! Friends! I need you. Come to me. There we go. Can you go up there? Here, I'll come up there with you. Oh, these are like jungle gym bars, aren't they? Well, come with me. I don't need your help here, but I will. Sooner or later. This game's just so relaxing. Am I good? Hope so. Okay, we're good. Ooh. No big deal, there's just a pool of sharks to constantly remind me of my own mortality and the frailty of a child's grasp on a wall of vines that were only recently grown. I'm sure we'll be fine. What could possibly go wrong? Might just get a little spray happy with making sure that things work out here. Oh, here we go. Hope you got a good grip, kid. Well, this ends very poorly for the both of us. Boy, oh boy. Well, that's problematic. This would appear to be some kind of dead end. And there's a crack going across to stop me from going any further. So I don't think we can walk around here. Oh, never mind. That's the way to go. They're separating me from my vine friends again.
Whoa!
He'll be fine. It's just a death-defying leap. Really trying my luck with these jumps here, aren't I? Story time.
The vines were slowly burying the king and his city. No matter what he tried, the king couldn't stop them. So he decided to create something that could. He mixed in paint thinner, malice, and snot, and soon had the outlines of a pretty horrible creature. But it wasn't until the thing began to coil its tentacles and snap its jaws that the king understood what he had made. And for the first time in his life, the king was afraid.
The creature. So the king made a villain where one need not exist. And so things get significantly worse for him. How's he gonna deal with that? And where am I going from here? Climb on here? There we go. Is this where I'm supposed to go? I'm not actually sure. Oh, here we go. Okay, not quite. Let's try that a little better. Not quite. Ah, that whole thing's full of water. Maybe I can draw the plants to that somehow. There's no apparent plants behind that. That all seems rather trapped. Where do I continue? Can't make the throw across there. Not quite. Let's try going closer and higher and see if that makes the difference. Okay. Oh, I can just climb up the pipe when it doesn't have rungs. Oh, weird. Why would that work? Kind of defeats the purpose of the rungs, but okay. Mystery solved, and I feel silly. Can't even come close to reaching that. Pick up fire hose. Hello. Now I've got superpowers. Holy crap. The fire hose just feels angry by comparison. Probably supposed to make it reach up there. There we go. That'll make you reach somewhere. Now how about you reach over to me? I need an escape. Am I the new king? Is that what's happening here? Because I'm feeling commanding right about now. It's like a metaphor for ruling or something, the way that I'm commanding things to grow, but not actually doing it myself. Although in a way I am doing it myself. With the way that I'm the one actually providing the fuel for the growth. Escape. Come with me, Vines. I don't know if I'll need you. Will they not come in here? There they go. They were just having some trouble navigating along the walls, it would appear. I don't know if they're even going to be useful, but it's like the companion cube. You just get used to the idea of taking it with you by default, just in case.
Even half-finished, the creature had no trouble swallowing up all the king's soldiers, half his zoo, and 3 peppermint gazebos. It was only with the help of his pet hippo and the giant that the king was able to force it into the sea. And though the water remained black for years after, the creature was never seen again on shore.
And now I can grow over the story so no one can read it. So it almost seems to suggest the creature we're seeing in the ocean. Oh, look, they're eating peas and meat. The meat is colorless, which is distressing, but the peas are not. It seems to suggest that the creature we saw in the water may be the thing that devoured the kingdom, but hard to say for sure. How do I leave? Closed window, closed window. Closed window. Aha! Need to get higher. Oh! Dang. Kinda feel bad. Almost. Now if you could grow on that trapdoor, I could grab it. Don't you wanna? Whoop. There we go. This seems very reminiscent of the tower we would later find out that he lived in. Yeah. Even the general shape of it, this feels a lot like the tower, even with the trapdoor and stuff, that he lived in the real world. They seem to encourage fantastical thinking in that family. They were homeschooled, taught critical thinking, but they also were given Dungeons and Dragons and some fantasy books and stuff like that. That seemed to breed some rather fantastical conclusions, with one of them painting their own kingdom and escaping into it, and the other one mentally escaping into a kingdom in their brain.
Within a short time, the king's subjects had all moved away, except the giant, who was quite loyal and also very lazy.
We can claim that something about the giant, virtuous, was the reason why they did the thing. Or, well, also, he is quite lazy. Never got to that balloon, did I? I was probably supposed to shoot that with the what's it called? The fire hose. The Swan. Fare thee well. Not exactly the ringing effect you would expect from that, is it? Not quite. Oh, I thought I was gonna bounce and I was a little concerned. Ta-da!
Monroe waved goodbye to the giant and set sail. But no matter how fast he went, the Swan was always just out of reach. And not for the first time that day, Monroe suspected he was being led somewhere. Then they flew into a cloud, and everything went black.